When I first opened up my business on Main Street in Harrisonburg, you could fire a cannon down Main Street and you wouldn't hit anybody. There was just nobody there. You know, you go out here on a Tuesday night, you can't bring your cannon. There's too many people out there. Why downtown Harrisonburg? Because downtown Harrisonburg is where I've always been. Downtown Harrisonburg is where I've always lived. And downtown Harrisonburg is where my friends are, where I do most of my shopping, and where I feel emotional connection to this city. Downtown Harrisonburg, to me, is Harrisonburg. This is the vital part where the character of the city is embodied. There's been a number of efforts made to bring a critical mass of people to Harrisonburg so that businesses could thrive, so our lifestyle could be more attractive and enjoyable. But it's been Barry's vision and his efforts that I think are he's been the singular change of downtown.
I came to Harrisonburg, to James Madison University in the late 70s. So I was at the end of the era of the phase one downtown, if you would have it, where there was still life. And so I became a part of the fabric of this community, and it never left me. And so when that dissipated over time, it was something I always wanted to be a part of and recreate. Never gave up on it.
Barry Kelly is the owner of the Casco Ice House, which is an 80,000 square foot building a couple blocks away from here, which sort of links some other projects between Court Square and JMU. And so, you know, it's an old factory industrial space that's a blank canvas right now.
When it comes to buildings, especially existing buildings, you just see the potential, and it's a labor of love. That's what it is.
The idea at this point is a factory floor that shares a wall, shares a glass wall with a showroom. And so people can come in there, and through this glass wall they can see they can see drop hammer and the screw press and hydraulic press and all these die sets and all the hubs and all this stuff going on from the showroom. And you bring this forward and it rolls that lip down and it rolls this. Barry wanted to see for himself what I'm really trying to accomplish, and the best way for him to see this was to meet Peter and to see the equipment that I was acquiring.
You see how these artisans did and created these engineers, these pieces of machinery that we saw at the Providence Jewelry Museum. They're one-off pieces of art.
I think Barry became as crazy about this stuff as I am. He was blown away by Peter, and he was blown away by the equipment.
Going into the Garden of Eden.
The drop hammer is important to me because I've always wanted a drop hammer. This hammer was, sitting up a hill in a shed with a leaky roof, with tons of junk piled upon it.
Now this rope hammer, which I call them rope hammers, the company that made it went out of business in 1948. That rope hammer was made somewhere between 1870 and 1890. Wow. It's still here, it still works, and someone's going to utilize it.
Wedged in this corner behind all this crap, including this old Jaguar car of his, which he, yelled at us at 100 times, "Don't let it fall on my car."
I don't want to hurt my car, don't hit the car.
Oh!
I told you, I thought you said the guard was past there.
No, you got 3 inches, 2 inches.
All right. All I care about is the car. I don't care about you.
Oh, now, there you go. You are coming off the base, baby. Look at that. You're back straight up as slow as you can.
Don't go under that machine, please. Have I cleared the beam? Can I drop? Careful! Okay. Once we start, I can't stop.
We were finally able to strap this hammer, which actually weighed more than the forklift, to the front of it and drag it out there.
Woo! I've been part of some sketchy shit in my life, but that's the sketchiest. Granville number?
Osberg and Granville is the name of the Standard Machinery before it became Standard Machinery. So this hammer has to be between 1870 and 1890.
This is number one.
And it's number one means 100 pounds. 100. So 100 pounds, if you lift this and do the calculations 3 feet with gravity, it's a gravity hammer. That 100 pounds will translate into 100 tons of force. So this old bird is going to go down in your shop and it's going to deliver 100 tons of force onto who knows what. So,
Cool, we got the Harrisonburg City Mint, 100%.
I think Peter's finally come to understand the emotional attachment I have to these things and what they mean to me on a personal level. And I think that's, amongst other things, one of the most important things he and I have in common. This is the base to the infamous drop hammer that we have great footage of pulling out of a shed. And the rails are sitting outside. I've just finished stripping this and I'm masking it off to start repainting. This is the piece, this is the machine that we'll use, to strike the coins with.
We're gonna set this up there on the base. And of course I got Barry here because Barry helped get this thing here. And one of the reasons I want to hurry up and sort of get this thing going is I want to get this thing back together and working before Peter gets here. Because Peter's, I think, is going to be here in January. So you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. All right. Let's go. All right. All right, it goes in that groove. What's coming next is at least some limited production on something. And what's coming next that's really important for me is I've talked to Peter and in my most earnest way invited him to come down here. One of my missions is to preserve the skills involved in this stuff.
Those skill sets are being lost. I mean, we grew up in the age, at least I did, of apprentice schools where people went to be an apprentice of somebody to learn these skills. Well, where is that now? They're few and far between. But, who knows what this building could do, but certainly I could envision Hugo, apprenticing many future jewelry makers or whatever branches that might take itself.
I don't know really what the time for this plan is, but it's somewhere around 18 months. Is to move it into the ice house. This artwork needs to be shared.